Life's a mess, but you don't have to fix it all. Hey, what's good? So, picture this, you're scrolling through your phone and the world's on fire. Your boss is vague about that deadline, your friend's ghosting you, and oh look, the planet's still a hot mess. Meanwhile, you're just trying to figure out if you've got enough energy to make dinner or if it's cereal o'clock again. Feel familiar? Yeah, same. Life in our 20s and 30s is like a group project where nobody knows the assignment, and somehow we're still supposed to ace it. I used to get so caught up in that chaos. Like, I'd sit there stressing about stuff I couldn't touch. Whether my coworker secretly hates me, or why rent's so high I might need to sell my soul to afford it. My brain would go full hamster wheel, spinning over things I couldn't fix, and by the end, I was just exhausted and no closer to solving anything. Sound like you too? Thought so. Here's the light bulb moment. We don't have to fix it all. Seriously, we're out here in this wild phase of life, juggling jobs, relationships, and that one plant we swore we'd keep alive. And it's easy to feel like every problem's our job to tackle. But what if it's not? What if, instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, we just focused on what we can change? It's not about giving up. It's about picking our battles so we're not burned out by Tuesday. For me, that shift was a game changer. I stopped losing sleep over stuff like global politics or my neighbor's loud dog. Sorry, buddy, you're not my circus, and started zeroing in on what I could actually tweak in my own little world. And guess what? It's way less stressful, and I've got more energy for the stuff that matters. Over the next few minutes, I'm gonna walk you through how I figured this out, and how you can too. No pressure, just chill vibes and some real talk. Ready to roll with me? Let's figure out where to put our energy, because you've got more power than you think. Why we stress over stuff we can't touch. Alright, so we're on board with focusing on what we can change, sweet. But before we get into the how, let's talk about why we even get stuck stressing over the other stuff. Like, why do I spend 20 minutes wondering if my ex is happier without me when I could have just eaten a taco instead? Let's unpack that, because once you see it, it's easier to let go. Here's the deal, our brains love a challenge. Back in the day, that was clutch, like figuring out how to outsmart a bear or find food. But now, we're not dodging bears. We're dodging vague texts and existential crises. In our 20s and 30s, life's throwing curveballs. Career uncertainty, dating disasters, that friend who keeps flaking. And our brains think, oh, I'll just solve it all. Except half the time, it's stuff we can't control, like other people's opinions or the fact that Wi-Fi picks the worst moments to die. I caught myself doing this the other week. My boss gave me this cryptic "we'll see" about a project, and I spiraled. Was he mad? Was I getting fired? Did I accidentally send that meme to the team chat? My mind was Sherlock Holmes on a caffeine binge, chasing clues I didn't even have. Meanwhile, the project was fine, I just couldn't change his vibe. Wasted energy, right? But it's so easy to fall into that trap when life feels like a puzzle with missing pieces. The kicker? Stressing over the uncontrollable doesn't fix it. It just steals your vibe. You end up drained, grumpy, and no closer to peace. For us, especially, it's brutal because we're already stretched thin, hustling to make it. Whatever that means, while pretending we've got it together. But here's the good news. You don't have to play that game. You can step back, look at the mess and say, nah, not my lane. It's freeing, like handing off the group project to someone else and just bringing the snacks. So how do we break the cycle? That's where we're headed next. We're gonna figure out what's actually in your hands, because once you stop wrestling the wind, you've got room to build something real. Hang with me, we're getting to the fun part. Finding your circle of control. So, we've figured out why we stress over stuff we can't change. Props for sticking with me. Now let's flip the script. What can you change? This is where it gets good. Because once you zero in on your little corner of the universe, life feels less like a dumpster fire and more like a project you can actually handle. Let's find your circle of control together. Turning control into your superpower. Alright, we're in the final stretch. Nice one for hanging out with me. We've scoped out what we can change, found our circle of control, and started playing in it. Now let's lock this down. How do we turn this focus into a superpower that keeps us steady through the chaos of our 20s and 30s? Because you're not here to just get by, you're here to thrive, and this is how we make it stick. First, keep it simple and build slow. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. That's a recipe for burnout. I started with one thing. When I'd stress about work, I'd take 5 minutes to breathe and jot down what I could do next. That's it. Over time, it grew. I added a quick walk when I'd get antsy, and now it's my go-to reset. Pick your one thing. What's in your hands today? Maybe it's texting a friend instead of overthinking their silence, or making a sandwich instead of skipping lunch. Small moves, big payoff. Then flex that muscle. The more you focus on what you can change, the stronger it gets. It's like training for a 5K. You don't start with the full run. You jog a block first. I used to freak out about every little thing, but now I catch myself mid-spiral and think, okay, what's mine here? Last night, my plans got canceled. Old me would have sulked, but new me ordered takeout and had a solo dance party. It's not about ignoring the mess. It's about steering your ship through it. And here's the fun part. Enjoy the wins. When you take control of what you can, it feels good. Own that. I nailed a work task I could actually tackle the other day, and I was like, yes, I'm a boss. No confetti needed, just a quiet high five to myself. You've got wins too. Maybe you said no to drama, or you finally watered that plant. Celebrate it. It's proof you're not helpless, even when life's loud. So, next time the world's a lot, don't waste your energy on what's out of reach. Focus on your circle, what you can change, what's yours, and watch it grow into something dope. You've got more control than you think, and it's way more chill than stressing over the whole pie. Hit that like button if this clicked for you, and drop your favorite in my control move in the comments. I'm here for it. Let's keep this energy going because you're building a life you can handle one piece at a time. First up, picture this. Everything in your life's a big, messy pie. Some slices, like the weather, your roommate's snoring, or whether pineapple belongs on pizza, are out of your reach. But there's a chunk you can mess with, your reactions, your routines, your next move. That's your circle. For me, it hit when I stopped obsessing over my friend's flaky texts. I can't make her reply, but I can decide to grab coffee with someone who doesn't leave me on read. Boom, energy saved, vibes restored. Start with the small stuff, it's less intimidating. I used to stress about work piling up, but I couldn't change my boss's deadlines. What I could do, tackle one email at a time instead of staring at the inbox like it's a horror movie. Last week, I knocked out 3 in 15 minutes and I felt like a superhero. What's your small win? Maybe it's picking out tomorrow's outfit tonight, or saying no to that extra favor you don't have time for. It's not world peace, but it's progress, and it's yours. Then, lean into what you're good at. We all have something. Maybe you're a wizard at organizing, or you've got a knack for making people laugh. I'm decent at cooking, so when life's overwhelming, I'll whip up a quick pasta and feel like I've got my act together. It's not about fixing everything. It's about reminding yourself you've got power somewhere. What's your thing? Play to it. It's like a cheat code for feeling in control. And here's the chill part. Let the rest slide. I can't change my landlord's vibe or the fact that my Wi-Fi's a drama queen. So I just shrug and move on. Yesterday, it cut out mid-Netflix. Annoying, but I grabbed a book instead. No meltdown, just a pivot. You don't have to fight every battle. Save your energy for what you can shape. It's like decluttering your mind, one not my problem at a time. This circle of control is your playground. Start small, build from there, and watch the stress drop. Next up, we'll talk about making this a vibe you can stick with because you're not just surviving, you're growing. Let's keep it rolling.